Data doesn't lie, your go-to for the science behind the art of parenting.
Hi guys, welcome back. So this week we are talking about what a typical newborn looks like. What do we look for to say a newborn is normal? And I use the air quotes for normal because I prefer typical, because what is normal really? So stick around, grab a cup of coffee or tea. I'm going to go get some tea and we'll dig in when we get back. So what is a typical newborn? For us to be able to say that a baby's normal or typical, we do a physical exam and we look at a number of things, and I'm going to touch on just a few things so I can keep this video short and sweet. On our physical exam, the first set of things we look at, the weight, the length, and the head circumference, are typically a reflection of mom's nutrition when baby was still a fetus or growing in her, as well as what the baby was exposed to when the baby was in the womb. So that tells you why it's important to eat healthy and stay healthy when we're pregnant. So babies' weight, on average, for term babies, they will weigh 3.5 kilos, and it can range anywhere from, we still consider it normal or typical if they weigh anywhere from 2.5 kilos, which is about, I want to say 5.5 pounds, all the way to 10 pounds, which is about 4.5 kilos. Now, this of course is specific to term babies, right? Now, if you're born at term, or if you're born preterm and you weigh less than 2.5 kilos, you're considered to be low birth weight. If you weigh less than 1.5 kilos, you're considered to be very low birth weight. And of course, if you weigh less than 1 kilo, which is 2.2 pounds, you're considered to be extremely low birth weight. And those are where my preemie kids fall in. And those kiddos are pretty, I mean, they're small, but they're strong. Hashtag preemie power. Like, they come out, they're feisty. I love my preemies. Anyway, that's why I'm a neonatologist. So that's for weight. Now let's talk about length. Again, at term, if a baby is born at term, the average length of a baby will be about 20 inches, and it could range anywhere from 18 inches, which is about, I want to say 45 centimeters, to 22 inches, which is about 60 centimeters. Anywhere in that range, again, is considered typical. The baby's head circumference is the distance around the largest part of the head, typically like mid forehead to the back pointy part in the forehead, the occiput. Cameroon would call that young goppo. Yes. Anyway, so that's the head circumference, and it's a reflection of brain growth, right? On average, that is about, I want to say about 34 centimeters, and it ranges, it could be 2 cm wide, shorter than that, but on average is about 34 cm. So at birth, that's typically where babies would fall, and we use certain growth charts to tell us where the baby falls in terms of what percentile you fall on. And that's a whole different discussion because most of them have been challenged for validity. So I say that to say, when we know this, we use certain growth charts for term babies and we use certain growth charts for preterm babies, because preterm babies grow super fast in fact, their growth is linear in the last, from 22 weeks on, which is about 5 months gestational age, all the way to term. And they gain about 85% of their birth weight in that time, which is it's crazy. Whereas term kids have actually started slowing down the rate at which they're gaining weight by the time they're born. So when a baby's born early, we take this into consideration and use a different sort of criteria for how we expect them to grow. So that's with regards to when you're born. Now, when you are in the first month of life, you will lose about 8 ounces in terms of weight. Babies will lose 8 ounces in the first 5 days or so. We expect them to gain that weight back about 20 grams a day, which is 0.7 ounces a day, or you could say 4 ounces to 8 ounces in the first per week is sort of what they should be gaining. In length, we expect them to gain about 5 cm in total in the first month, which is about, I want to say about 3 inches. and we expect them to gain about 0.5 to 1 cm of head circumference per week as they grow. Now, babies, so that's just sort of the general numbers, right? And then we look at like physical characteristics of the baby, and at birth, I want to say, parents, don't, like, you see all those pictures out there and you're like, oh my god, this baby's so cute. The baby did not come out looking like that. Well, you know, they went through some trauma to come out. They had to go through a vaginal canal to come out, for those who deliver vaginally. So they might have like a cone-shaped head or an odd-shaped head. They may look a little swollen. They may have some bloodshot eyes. All of that is normal, and it goes away in the first couple of days. So don't worry about it. That's probably why newborn photo shoots are like made for, like, you know, second week of life, when baby's starting to look cute. Anyway, total segue. But anyway, back to what babies look like at birth. Other things that may happen is that babies may have some breast tissue that is present, both for boys and girls, and this is just maternal hormones that baby was exposed to. Some girls might actually have some red, blood, brown colored vaginal discharge or milky discharge from the breast. Again, normal, just maternal hormones that the kid was exposed to, and it'll go away. So that's really just like physical growth. And then the last thing I'm going to touch on is we want to know how mature a baby is. If they're actually at the gestational age at which they were born, are they neurodevelopmentally mature? And we use something called a Ballard score, and we do this for all babies, even though we don't really talk about it. And I don't necessarily always bring it up to my patients unless there's an issue, there's something that I worry about. As part of our physical exam, we do this neurological assessment for the babies. Actually, you know what? I'll make a different video for that, because it's a bit of a detail for it. So I'll make a different video for that. So that's what we talked about this week, just about how well babies are grown. And I can actually give you guys a couple of links just for growth charts, and your pediatricians will do this as well as the kiddos are followed up. I tend to do it for all my patients. I give them growth charts as the babies grow and when they're born as well, just to kind of know where they fall at. And wherever they fall in terms of percentile really doesn't matter. It's really the trajectory of how well they grow on the path they've picked, on the centile chart they've picked, that matters. So that's it. That's all I have for you guys this week. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will put a link in the description box below for you guys to look up different growth charts if you're so interested. Share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.